So that's the important parts of neoplastic and paraneoplastic diseases that we need to know about. Demyelinating, just need to know a few key points, and we'll go into that. Multiple sclerosis, a lot of these little, it's a white matter disease, so cortex is generally not involved, and you don't get one symptom, which you're not going to get. Seizures, exactly. Excellent. You are not in a coma. And there's some typical patterns of presentations in multiple sclerosis. Corticospinal tracts are involved most of the time, and equally visual tracts are involved. Then sensory, cerebellar, and lastly sphincter dysfunction. Generally will not cause aphasia or seizures because it's a white matter disease, but we don't need to know the variants where gray matter might be involved. We don't need to know that, really. And then there are these syndromes, optic neuritis, and you can have one attack, several attacks, and in fact they say look for demyelinating illness in anyone who presents, any young person who presents with optic neuritis. Internuclear ophthalmoplegia is involvement of the medial longitudinal fasciculus in the brainstem, and essentially it's what links all the cranial nerve, extraocular cranial nerves together, so that when the sixth nerve is working here, the sixth nerve here doesn't decide to work. That would be very weird. Well, that might be useful if you want to look in both directions, but it might come in handy now, but anyway, you move like this, and that's what the medial longitudinal fasciculus does. And if it stops working, it becomes essentially what will happen. Let's say the left one is not working, and this keeps going. This is okay. Okay, the adduction doesn't work. But then this thing is trying to drag all the way, so there may be a little nystagmus. So inability to adduct and nystagmus of the abducting eye. That is a classic internuclear ophthalmoplegia. And the reverse is true for the other side. And generally when there's INO, people think MS more than a stroke. And then acute myelitis, typically transverse myelitis, also is a syndrome that associated with MS. McDonald's criteria, people still use that.